So, how'd the meeting with Hiyusuke Miyashi go?
Oh, fine.
Fine.
Okay, I nailed it.
He signed?
For 3 years.
That's incredible. What? We have to go celebrate.
Oh, I can't do it, Josh. I want to get going on this New Delhi presentation before Claxton gets to them.
All right, Meredith, Miyashi is the biggest client the firm has ever landed. Before you PDA your way into your next conquest, why not chill a second and enjoy the success of this one?
I'll enjoy it tomorrow. It's dawn in India.
You know, winning isn't everything, Meredith.
I just bought a $2 million co-op. It better be.
Ma'am? Miss, can I help you?
Get someone. I can't move my legs. I can't move.
Hey, 2 dozen. And they're still warm. Nice. What's the occasion?
Going away present. 1 to-go box for each. I'm splitting the team between 2 cases. Miles, Eva, you're going to Hampton, Virginia.
What's there?
Raymond Air Force Base. In the last 3 months, 6 pregnant military wives, all living in the same housing community, have spontaneously miscarried during their 3rd trimester. The doctors at the base hospital are stumped.
Any symptoms prior to miscarriage?
In all cases, 3 days before, the women have experienced flu-like symptoms and back pain, which have progressed to cramping, spot bleeding.
Almost like premature labor.
So that's 72 hours from onset of symptoms before they lose their babies.
I guess you've got your work cut out for you.
We'll keep you posted. What are we looking at?
Bizarre case in New York City. A safety officer at Almoner Community Hospital reported a cluster of 3 victims struck with spontaneous paralysis.
Paralysis.
The latest patient, Meredith Beck, 35 years old. She was found in her Manhattan office, rushed to the hospital yesterday. She's in ICU with the others.
Any other symptoms?
Non-productive cough, severe muscle pain.
Commonalities?
Only one. They all work in the same office building, Broad Street, Lower Manhattan.
We've thrown every antibiotic known to mankind at them. Ciprofloxacin, ceftriaxone.
Antivirals?
Tried those too, but there's been no results. We're managing the pain with narcotics, but so far nothing we've tried has done a thing to stop this.
What do your lab results tell you?
Blood work indicates an elevation in muscle enzymes. They also all have an unusually high number of eosinophils in the blood.
It could be a parasitic infection like trichinosis and undercooked pork, toxic oil exposure.
The symptoms point to an atypical Guillain-Barré syndrome that would explain the ascending muscle weakness. And there have been outbreaks of it before.
Either way, there's some kind of immune response at work here.
So steroid therapy?
No, if it is GBS, steroids will make the patients worse.
Bottom line is I have 3 patients that may never walk again. I sure hope you guys can help because I'm out of ideas.
All right, let's start by getting patients' histories.
I'll check the blood for parasitic infections or toxins.
I'll check out this building they all work in for any environmental causes.
Do you have any idea how long I'll be in here? I say something funny?
No, it's just that the first thing most people want to know is what's wrong with them.
I know what's wrong with me. My legs don't work. My muscles are aching. And I also have a 2 o'clock strategy meeting.
You won't be there.
I can conference it in.
Not today. I need to ask you a few questions. Any recent medications?
No, work is my drug of choice.
Sounds familiar. Any recent changes in lifestyle habits that may have contributed to your condition?
My mortgage just quadrupled. Does that count?
All right. We need to run a few more tests. We're going to get you better.
Look, Dr. Durant, you understand the drill. Women need to work twice as hard to be considered half as good. If I could just get back my PDA, my phone, my laptop.
You need to get some rest, Ms. Beck.
Meredith. Fearless as I am in business, I get queasy at the sight of just a drop of blood. Go figure.
Don't feel bad. The thought of doing a PowerPoint presentation gives me hives.
So, do you know what I have?
All we know is you have elevated CPK.
Abnormal muscle enzymes. I had one of my assistants run an internet search on this sort of thing. Next, you'll be saying you want to perform an electromyography, right?
An EMG. You've done your homework.
Whatever it is that's making me sick is not affecting my ability to think or talk.
I've noticed.
Help me get my work done, Dr. Durant.
Natalie, I'll see what I can do.
Everything looked normal. The obstetrician said that the baby was healthy. And then I started cramping. I was at 7 months, so at first I just thought it was premature labor, but when I started bleeding, I knew that it was more serious. There's a lot of mothers on the base that have lost their babies, and we've all experienced basically the same exact symptoms. We all belong to a support group for pregnant moms.
How would you describe your health before you were hospitalized?
It was pretty good.
Did you ever drink alcohol or smoke while you were pregnant?
I would never do that.
What about soda, coffee, anything with caffeine?
Not since the day the little stick turned blue.
Yeah, the truth is she could hardly ingest anything. She had morning sickness the whole pregnancy.
Couldn't keep anything down. Rick and I used to laugh because all I could eat was applesauce and ice cream.
Excuse me a second. Come on in. Oh, these are friends of ours, Amy Owens and her daughter Lexi. Come on in. Go ahead, have a seat.
Amy also belongs to our support group. When I mentioned that the NIH was coming by to talk to us, she wanted to stop by. Hope you don't mind.
No, not at all.
How many months are you?
7 months this week. So, do you think what happened to Nancy and her baby could happen to me?
Well, Nancy seems to be pretty on top of things. Any theories?
My first guess is environmental exposure to bacterial or parasitic pathogen, although can't rule out the possibility of chemical exposure.
This time we have too many commonalities. All the women who miscarried live in the same housing development. They shop at the same stores, they swim in the same pools, drink the same water.
You know, there were cases where the tap water in Oxford, England became tainted with detergent and caused several stillbirths. The same thing happened with a group of expectant mothers living in California with houses built before 1988. They found chlordane, a termite pesticide, saturated in the ground soil. I'm gonna start testing the water and the ground soil around the houses. And I'll check the community pool for E. coli.
It all looks so perfect.
And yet something really awful's going on here.
So what are you looking for?
Whatever I could find. How much time does Meredith spend in this office?
She's like Hefner in his silk pajamas. It's damn near 24/7. I'll be down the hall if you need anything else.
What is it?
Silica dust.
It's all over the building at Broad Street. I found it in Meredith's office and the other 2 victims' offices as well. There have been reports that link silica dust to vasculitis and several other muscle degenerative diseases.
How did it get there?
The building engineer said he replaced the ceiling tiles 2 weeks ago. So in the process of cutting and fitting them, the dust could have easily settled on their desks.
Nat, have you found any traces of trichinosis?
No, the patient's serologic tests were negative. I still can't rule out atypical Guillain-Barré syndrome.
All right, I'll start them on plasmapheresis. If this is GBS, they should show signs of improvement relatively soon.
It's a good idea. As for the silica dust, I don't think there's enough to cause paralysis.
Why not?
They're only trace amounts.
What if they were immunosuppressed?
They would have had to inhale the dust for months in order to get sick. If the building is contaminated, the catalyst is something else.
Well, if the answer's in that building, I'll find it.
I had to pull a few strings, but here it is.
Thank God. You ever get sick of latex gloves and tongue depressors? I'll put you to work.
No head for business. Blood samples, they are my friend. How's the muscle pain?
Better. Now that I can tap back in.
I brought you the phone thinking that you might want to call your family.
Only child. My parents are no longer with us.
I'm sorry. I was thinking, husband or children?
Oh my God, I forgot to have children. What about you, Natalie?
Divorced. What about calling a friend?
My speed dial's for clients only, Natalie, but thanks for the thought.
All right, I'm going to start you on a new form of treatment. It's called plasmapheresis.
Does it hurt?
No more than getting a shot.
Now we've got another one. Rebecca English, 27 years old. Over here, let's go.
Hadn't heard from my daughter in days, so I dropped by and I found Becky on the kitchen floor. She passed out 3 days ago. She can feel her arms and her legs, but she can't move them.
I'm going to need a urine myoglobulin, sed-rate, electrolytes, liver panel stat. Yes,
I feel like my arms and legs are burning.
Rebecca, I'm Dr. Duran. I'm going to give you some morphine to ease the pain, okay?
Rebecca, I need to ask you a few questions. First of all, where do you work?
National.
She works at the National One Bank in Adams. Why?
Well, the Adams building's across the street from the building where Meredith and the others work.
Is that important?
Rebecca, have you ever been in the Broad Street building? Rebecca?
She's fading.
Stay with us.
Enough questions. Can't you see she's in trouble?
Mr. England, there are 3 other victims who also work on Broad Street with the same symptoms as your daughter. I'm just trying to figure out what that something is.
What are you saying? You telling me this is some kind of an outbreak?
She's unconscious.
All right, let's get her stabilized.
All right, Mr. England, let the doctors do their work. I'll explain everything outside.
No. So?
No signs of E. coli in the swimming pool. No chlorine in the soil or in the air. Still testing the tap water. How'd you do?
Well, nothing stands out in their medical histories, and the autopsies on the fetuses were negative for any bacterial infection.
What about the husbands?
Well, they're all in the same company, but they serve in different units. It's so weird. These women, it's like they got together, had a meeting, and decided to have a baby at the same time.
Oh, it's wartime. Soldier goes off to fight, wants to leave behind a legacy.
Hey, Dr. McCabe, there's a phone for you.
For me? Yeah, this is Dr. McCabe. Okay, I'll be right there.
Dr. McCabe, tell me what's wrong with my baby, please.
Calm down, Amy. Tell me exactly what happened.
I started cramping. I called Nancy. She picked me and Lexi up and brought us straight to the hospital.
Did the cramps feel like labor?
No, I remember what it felt like with Lexi. This is much different. I'm bleeding, too.
Miles, we have less than 48 hours.
Is my mommy going to be okay?
Lexi, we're gonna do everything we can to take good care of your mom, okay?
Obviously, we're gonna have to keep you here for a while. Is there someone who can take care of Lexi for you?
Me and about a dozen other moms in our support group.
Okay, good. We're gonna have to run some tests. We're gonna find out exactly what's going on.
Do whatever you have to, Dr. McCabe. Just please save my baby.